We continue now at the top of Daf Tesam and Beis Meseches Chagigah. This is Chagigah Daf 9b. And the previous Amar Rabbi Yochanan had said if a person is a chiger b'yom rishon, let's say a person is lame on the first day of Yontif, so we say all the subsequent days of Yontif in terms of the Karban Chagigah, they're all a tashlum in the rishon. So if he couldn't bring the Karban Chagigah on the first day because he was a chiger, so he's completely patur. He doesn't have to bring it on the subsequent days. So the Gemara asked from Rabbi Yochanan's psak by a nazir, because Rabbi Yochanan says, let's say you have a situation of a nazir. Normally, if a nazir has multiple situations of tumah, he can bring one karban on all of those cases. After you count the 7 clean days, you purify yourself, you bring the karban, then you start over the count of the naziris, and you can do that again, one karban for multiple situations of tumah. But Rabbi Yochanan says, let's say you have a situation where on the night of the 8th, that's the night before you're going to bring the karban, so the person's totally pure, he's ready to bring the karban. You just don't bring karbanos at night. Let's say at that night the person becomes tameh. So Rabbi Yochanan says for that tumah you already need to bring a separate karban, because really it's considered that on this first set of tumah, this first karban, that's really already the time to be bringing that karban has already arrived. You're already starting this count of the new nazirus. There's a technicality you have to wait till the daytime to bring the karban, but really the chiyuv of this karban already has been chal at night. The nazir is totally pure and ready to bring the karban, and therefore a din of tashlumin even already applies to this karban, meaning the chiyuv is on this karban. If you don't bring it now, you're going to need to bring it as a tashlumin, and therefore you're going to have to bring 2 sets of karbanos if you have this subsequent tumah. So therefore it seems from this case, the Gemara argues, that here you have a case where you're chayiv in a karban, there's a technicality that at night you don't bring karbanos, and we say there's a din of tashlumin. So the same thing should be true when it comes to the first day of Yontif by the Karban Chagigah. Karban Chagigah, there's a chiyuv to bring a karban. The person happened to have been a chiger on the first day, technicality, he doesn't bring the karban on the first day, there should be a din of tashlumin. So the Gemara answered, when it comes to situations of tumah, we are much quicker to have a din of tashlumin. As we find by Karban Pesach, if you don't bring Karban Pesach on Pesach Rishon because of tumah, there's a din of tashlumin called Pesach Sheni. Special halacha by tumah. And so therefore you cannot compare the din of tashlumin by the tumah of a nazir to our case of tashlumin by a chiger b'yom rishon. Those are 2 separate cases. And so now the Gemara says, Rav Papa asks the following question. This only works according to the one who says, Sheni tashlumin de rishonu. There's a mandamer that says that the Pesach Sheni is considered a tashlumin of rishon. This entire argument is built on the idea that by tumah we have a din of tashlumin. We find this din of tashlumin by Pesach Sheni. That's good if you understand Pesach Sheni as a tashlumin de rishon. Elalamando amar Sheni regel b'fnei atzmahu. But there's another opinion that says that Pesach Sheni is considered its own holiday. As Rashi over here says, Elalamando amar regel b'fnei atzmahu. If the idea of Pesach Sheni has nothing to do with Tashlumin, but it's a regal b'fnei atzma, so how can you bring this idea, that when it comes to Tumah, there's a concept of Tashlumin we find by Pesach Sheni? There's a Bandarma that says that Pesach Sheni is not considered a Tashlumin Derishon, it's considered a regal b'fnei atzma. So what are you going to say according to that opinion? Again, we're back to our contradiction within Rabbi Yochanan. And so the Gemara gives another answer. Elo Amar Papa. Rather, Papa says as follows. He answers, Kasava Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan holds Laila Eino Mechusar Zman. When the nighttime arrives and you just can't bring the karban because of a technicality, that's not called Mechusar Zman. It's not called lacking any time. The time for the obligation of the karban has actually arrived. As Rashi over here says, Kosav Rabbi Yochanan ein chisaron zman b'mishegia leilo lahakriv karbanosov. There's not considered lacking any time in a situation where the night of bringing the karban has arrived. A machar meaning you're supposed to bring the karban the next morning, the next day. Hilkach mechuyevu bekarban. So therefore, there's a full-fledged chiyuv on the karban. Again, like we said, it's a technicality, and no, you don't bring karbanos. But when you're lame on the first day of Yontif, it's not just a technicality that you don't bring the karban. There is no chiyuv re'iyah at that point. And therefore there is no din tashlumin if there's no chiyuv of karban. Rav Papa is offering a very simple answer that there's a major difference between a situation of laila not being able to bring a karban and a situation of not being able to bring a karban because you're a chiger. But the Gemara says, Umi Amar Rabbi Yochanan Hachi. Does Rabbi Yochanan really say this idea that Laila is not Mechusar Zman? As Rashi says, Umi Amar Rabbi Yochanan ain't Laila Mechusar Zman. Does Rabbi Yochanan really hold that? Ve'Amar Rabbi Yochanan, but Rabbi Yochanan says as follows. Ra achas belayla, ushtayim biyom. We're talking here about a Zov. Let's say he sees 1 emission at night and 2 during the day. So maybe he brings a karban. We'll see Rashi in a moment. Shtayim belayla, but if he sees 2 at night, v'achas biyom, and one during the day, eino mevi, then he doesn't bring a carbon. And we'll take a look at Rashi over here. Rashi says, v'yamar Rabbi Yochanan, ro achas belayla, zov shesiper shiva nekiyim kimishpato. You have a zov, he counts 7 clean days, the normal fashion. V'tavel v'hariv shimsho, and then he immerses himself, and he waits for the sun to go down. V'chazer v'ra achas belayla, and now what happens? He sees an emission at night, ushtayim l'machar, and he sees 2 emissions the next day. And so Rashi continues, maybe carbon al tuma shniya zu levad min carbon shiavi al rishona. This individual, again, who saw 2 emissions the next day, he's going to need to bring a separate carbon on the second tuma, besides for the carbon that he brings on the first tuma. V'yavi shnei karbonos kishayitar. He's going to have to bring 2 karbonos when he purifies himself. Hoel v'lo ra hashniya at sheyatza l'shashi ru'uya lahavi carbon. And the reason is because he only saw the second emission during the daytime, which was a time when he could have brought the carbon. So yesh lo tashlumin. So therefore, there's a din of tashlumin. V'af al hashniya yavi. And even on this second one, he's going to have to bring a carbon. Af al pisha tchilasa b'soch zman carbon harishona. And even though that set of emissions began at the nighttime during the time of the first carbon, so maybe you'll say it should all be subsumed under the first carbon, but no, since the second emission came during the day, a time when already he could be bringing a carbon on the first tumah, so therefore he can't include it all in the first tumah, he has to bring a separate carbon. Lo amrinon chara tumah. We don't say it's all one tumah, rather, again, we say this din of tashlumin already sets in. Uperish Rav Yosef as atam in Meseches Krisus. Rav Yosef explains the reason in Krisus. Lafi shari'iyah rishona shel zav. That first emission that the person has at night of a zav, or in general, the first emission of a zav, ein ela kekeri bialma. It doesn't have a status of zav. It's just considered like balkeri. V'chi chazi inoch lemachar mitzarefes badayu. It's only when you see a second emission and a third emission, those join together to create the status of a zav. So hachanam is here also. Afa b'shaisa riya rishona b'soch carbon rishon ki hadar chazi inach lemachar mitzdarfen badayu. The first one he sees during the time frame of the first carbon, so maybe you'd say it'd be subsumed under the first tumah and the first carbon. But since the other ones join together the next day, so that's what Rabbi Yochanan over here says. If it's achas b'layla shtayim biyom, maybe. But then he says if it's shtayim b'layla v'achas biyom, again eino maybe. So in that case you're not going to bring. Why? Because the 2 of them already happened at night, meaning that set of zav already was subsumed under the first set of tumah, so you don't need to bring. And so the Gemara now takes to its question that you see from this, that Rabbi Yochanan seems to hold Laila is mechusar zman. Why? Now, if you think that Rabbi Yochanan holds in general Laila is not mechusar zman, and really by the time the Laila comes, you're already considered to be at the point of the carbon, it's just a technicality. So then afilu shtayim b'Laila v'achas b'yom maybe, even if the person sees 2 emissions at night and 1 the next day, but still, once the night arrives, that should be the end of the first set of tumah, that now the obligation to bring a carbon for the first set of tumah has already fully set in, then of tashlumin has fully set in, and therefore, even if you see 2 at night, you should need to bring another carbon. So it seems to be clear that Rabbi Yochanan holds that no, Laila is b'chusar zman. The nighttime is still included in that first set of tumah. As Rashi over here says, V'isal kadaydach Laila ain't mechusar zman. If Laila is not mechusar zman, afilu ra shloshtan b'Laila zeh. Even let's say he saw all 3 emissions at night, at this night. Kvar yotzim izman rishon. The first time frame is already over. That first tumah should be over. Ushtei zivos hein. These should be 2 separate zivos. Ilav desvir le Laila mechusar zman. Rather, it must be no. Rabbi Yochanan holds Laila is mechusar zman. It's not yet the time for the carbon. Hilkachim ra shtayim b'Laila havela ziva arichta. That's why if the person sees 2 at night, it's just considered to be an extension of the first ziva. So you really have here a contradiction within Rabbi Yochanan whether we can really say Laila is ein mechusar zman or not. And so the Gemara answers, Ki klam Rabbi Yochanan. When did Rabbi Yochanan make that statement which implied that Laila is mechusar zman? L'divrei ha'omer Laila mechusar zman. He was talking according to the one who says Laila is mechusar zman, meaning according to that shita, if you see these emissions at night and Laila is mechusar zman, so then it would turn out that it's all subsumed under the first set of ziva. But Rabbi Yochanan himself, he maybe holds Laila is not mechusar zman. So the Gemara says, L'divrei ha'omer, 1 second, if you're going according to the one who says Laila is mechusar zman, pshita, it's so obvious. What does he need to tell us what that mandarma would hold? We can figure it out ourselves. It's obvious. So the Gemara says, no, it's not so obvious. Shtayim biyom v'achas b'layla tzrichale. What Rabbi Yochanan was trying to tell us is what happens if you see 2 during the day and 1 at night. That's the chiddush. Because I might have thought kaskafta the Rav Shisha brei the Ravidi, I might have thought we should follow the question question of Rav Shisha B'rei Ravidi, Kamash Malon Kid Rav Yosef. And that's what Rav Yochanan is coming to try to tell us, that we follow the opinion of Rav Yosef. We'll take a look at Rashi over here. Ki Omer Rav Yochanan Ahi L'divrei HaOmer Laila Mechusar Zman Omra. Rav Yochanan's entire discussion over there by Ziva was according to the one who says that Laila is Mechusar Zman. That in other words, really the time to bring the carbon has not yet arrived, and it could all be subsumed. The night can be subsumed under the first Ziva, under the first carbon. But you're right. According to Rabbi Yochanan himself, he holds even if you saw all the emissions at night, you would bring another carbon because really the time is ended. The time to bring the carbon has arrived, and now you're starting a new time frame, so you need to bring a new carbon. So the Gemara says, L'divrei Omer Pshita, isn't that obvious? If you hold that it's Mechusar Zman, so what's there even to talk about? So if he's giving you his own opinion, so he's telling you what he holds. I hold Laila Mechusar Zman. But if he's just saying, according to the one who says Laila Mechusar Zman, we could figure that out ourselves. And so the Gemara says, not necessarily true. Because if you look in Krisus, there was a question on that from Rav Shisha. To ask if Bechrisus alatam shenasan Rav Yosef aladavar kemoshe peirashti lamala. So he asks on the opinion that Rav Yosef mentioned, that Rashi mentioned Rav Yosef said before. Rashi said before, rather, that Rav Yosef had explained that the Re'iyah Rishon is just considered Baal Keri. Rav Shisha had asked on that. Teida the Re'iyah Rishona shall kol hazavim keri bi'almahu. We had said earlier that the Re'iyah Rishona of all Zavim is considered just Balkari. And so when you see the other two, that's when it joins together. That's why if you have one at night and two the next day, so that one at night is not really significant because it's just Balkari, but it only becomes significant when it's joined together with other emissions. Hachanami Loshna, here also no different. Rav Shisha asked on that logic of Rav Yosef and said, Midami is really comparable. Hasam kulu bizman chiyuva chazinu. Over there, when you're joining together the various emissions, it's happening at a time of chiyuv. Here you're seeing one at night, you're seeing other ones during the day. It's not at the time of the chiyuv of this particular carbon. So who says that you can join it together with that logic? And again, what Rashi is referring to is what he mentioned above over here, Uperish Rav Yosef. It's going on the case where again you see one emission at night and two during the day. There, Rabbi Yochanan said in that case you actually would have to bring a second carbon because two of the emissions were during the day. It's during a new time frame. That Rav Yosef said is indeed the case. So as what we said over here, Uperish Rav Yosef es atam and Meseches Krisos lefi sharir rishona shel zav eina lekekeri bi'alma. That first emission that you see at night, it doesn't really count. We really go by the second two during the day, during the new time frame. So you usually have the subsequent ones mitzdarif to the first one. Here also, even though the first sighting was at night during the time frame of the carbon rishon, that was the logic of Rav Yosef, and Rav Shisha B'rei Ravidi said you can't necessarily apply that logic. Because in general, when do you apply that logic? You apply that logic when it's all in the time of chiyuv, when it's all in the kind of the same time frame. But to apply that logic over here, where you have one emission at night and two during the day, and now you're going to say that the one that was at night should be as if it was during the day also, so to speak, that everything is considered to be in a new time frame, that Rav Shisha did not agree to. And Rav Yochanan is saying, no, we follow Rav Yosef in that we do not agree with the logic of Rav Shisha B'rei Ravidi. And the Gemara continues at the two dots, over haregel v'lo chag. Let's say the regel passes, the person didn't bring the Chagigah, Eino Chai Bachrusa, is not chayiv anymore to bring the Chagigah. The Alza Nemar, and about this it says, Mu'uvas lo yuchal iskon, some corruptions cannot be fixed, V'chisaron lo yuchal lihimana, some things that are lacking cannot be counted. And the Gemara says, Amar le Barhei lehillel, Barhei said to Hillel, Hai lihimanos, what do you mean something lacking can't be counted? Lihimalos mi baile, it should say if it's lacking, it can't be filled in. What is this language of counted? So Ella rather Zesha Manu Chaveirav Lidvar Mitzvah V'hulo Nimna Imoin. What the pasuk is talking about is a person's friend, they were all counted to do a mitzvah, but he wasn't counted among them. He didn't join them in the mitzvah. Gemara says, Tanya Nami Hachi, we have a brisa like this as well. Muvas lo yuchal iskon zeh shabital kriya shema shel shachris, or kriya shema shel arvis, or shabital tefillah shel shachris, or tefillah shel arvis. What does it mean? Something that's a corruption that you can't fix? That would be somebody who didn't say kriya shema in the morning or the evening, or didn't do tefillah in the morning or the evening. It's something that can't be fixed. V'chesron lo yuchal imanos. What does it mean? Something missing that can't be counted. Zeh shenimnu chaveirav ledvar mitzvah v'hulo nimna imoin. Like we said before, somebody whose friends are counted towards a mitzvah, but he was not counted among them. He didn't join them. And the Gemara continues, Amarle Barhei lehillel, Barhei said to Hillel, Mai dechsiv, what does the pasuk mean when it says in Malachi, V'shavtem urisam ben tzadik l'rasha ben oved elokim la'asher lo avodo. You'll return and you'll see the difference between a tzaddik and a rasha, between one who serves God and one who doesn't serve God. So the question is, Hainu tzaddik, Hainu oved Elokim, Hainu rasha, Hainu asher lo avado. It seems to be repetitive. A tzaddik is an oved Elokim, and a rasha is one who doesn't serve Hashem. So why does it say it twice? So Amar Lei said to him, Avado v'lo avado tarvayu tzaddike gemurei nenu. When the pasuk refers to an oved Elokim and someone who's not an oved Elokim, it's actually both times referring to tzaddikim, full tzaddikim. Ve'eno doma shono pirko meya pa'amim l'shono pirko meya v'echad. And there's no comparison between someone who reviews his learning 100 times to someone who reviews his learning 101 times. That's the difference between one who serves God and one who doesn't. Amar Lei said back to him, Mishum chad zimna kari le lo avoda, because he didn't review one extra time, you call him somebody that didn't serve God. Amar Lei said to him, yes, tseu laman mishuk shel chamorin, go and learn it out from the marketplace, or really from the market that goes for the donkey drivers, how much money they charge. Asara parsi bezuzah, chad asar parsi betrei zuzeh. You want 10 parsos? You want to go travel 10 parsos? It's 1 zuz. 11 parsos, now it goes up to 2 zuz. Even though it's only 1 extra parsa, but you have to pay a whole extra zuz. Same thing over here, that 1 extra time could be very meaningful. And the Gemara continues, Amar le Eliyahu leBarhehe. Eliyahu said to Barhehe, ve'amri lo Rebbe Elazar. Some people say Eliyahu Hanavi was talking not to Barhehe, but Rebbe Elazar. Ma'id chsiv, what does the pasuk mean when it says, Hinei tzafarticha v'lo bekesef v'charticha b'chor oni? It says that I've refined you, but not like silver, but with poverty. What does it mean that I've refined you with poverty? What it means is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was seeking all the different kinds of good midos to give Klal Yisrael, to prevent them from sinning, and he found that the best thing to prevent one from sin is poverty. Amar Shmuel, and Shmuel said, Rav Yosef, some people say Rav Yosef says, Hainu damri inshi. That's what people say, the expression, Yoa an Yusa lihudoi, that poverty is good for the Jews, ki barzo sumko l'susya chivra, like you put a red streak on a white horse, it really accentuates, brings out the white of the horse. When you see the red, the contrast of the red. So the same thing over here, the anios, it brings out the good characteristics of the Jewish people. The Gemara continues at the two dots. Rabbi Shimon ben Menashe Omer, Rabbi Shimon ben Menashe says, Ezu mu'uvas lo yuchal liskon, what's considered something that's corrupt, that's crooked, that can't be fixed? Zehabala erva v'holin mimena mamzer v'chulu. That's somebody who comes on one of the arayas and they have a child who's a mamzer. So the Gemara says, hold it in, hold it low. It sounds like from the Mishnah. If they have a child, then it can't be repaired. It can't be fixed. But if they don't have a child, it can be repaired. You can do teshuvah. But the Gemara says there's a contradiction to Rabbi Shimon ben Menashe. Of our Tanya, but we learned in a brisa. Rabbi Shimon ben Menashe, Omer, Rabbi Shimon ben Menashe says, Go nevadam after sheyachzer geneva. If somebody steals, they can return what they stole. V'yasakin and fix the situation. Goes aladam after sheyachzer gazlo. If a person steals, that means by force, it's possible to return that which you stole. V'yasakin, he can fix the situation. But if somebody has relations with a married woman, and now she's now forbidden to her husband, so nitrad min ha'olam v'halachlo, he's going to be banished from the world. He'll be forced to leave the world without doing any teshuvah. Meaning the point is he created an irreparable situation. This is not repairable because why? Because now she's forbidden to her husband. It's a contradiction. It seems over here, even if they didn't have a child, even if through this adultery there was no child, it is a situation that can't be repaired. And the brisa continues. Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai Omer, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai says, Ein Omer bakro gomel bakro chazir. People don't say, let's inspect a camel to be a carbon, let's inspect a pig, because they're not fit to be a carbon anyway. Ela bakro tzaleh, you're always inspecting something that originally is fit, like a sheep. Same thing over here. Something isn't crooked if it wasn't straight before. Ve'ezeh, so therefore, what is this referring to? What's a mu'uvas lo yuchaliskon zeh Talmud Chacham, shapirish min HaTorah, refers to a Talmud Chacham who separates from Torah. That's an individual who was originally straight and then became crooked. Rabbi Yehuda ben Lakish, Amar Rabbi Yehuda ben Lakish says, called Talmud Chacham shapirish min HaTorah. If you have a Talmud Chacham who separates from Torah, all of HaKasav Omer, about such a person, the pasuk says, Ketzipor nodedis min kane, kenish noded v'mekomu. That's like a bird that wanders from its nest. So too, this person has wandered from his original place. V'omer, and it also says in the pasuk, Ma'matzu avosechem bi'avel ki rachaku me'olai. It says that what corruption did your forefathers find in me that they distanced themselves from me? In any case, the Gemara is saying it is a contradiction here, like we said, between in terms of the shita of Rabbi Shimon ben Menashe. So the Gemara answers, Lo kasha is not difficult. Kan b'choso penuya, kan be'eshasish. Here we're talking about, let's say a person has relations with his sister who's not married, so then it's only going to be unfixable if they have a child. But if a person has relations with an eshasish, even if they don't have a child, you have an unfixable situation over here because she's forbidden to her husband. Same if you want, I could say another answer, hava ha be'eshasish. In both cases, we can be talking about an eshasish, a married woman. But lo kasha is not difficult. Kan, over here we're talking, the Gemara is going to say ba'ones, in a situation where there's a rape. Rashi over here says ba'ones lo asra al bala. By an onus situation, it's not irreparable because she's not forbidden to her husband. Lafiga hold it in, lo hold it low. Therefore, only when they have a child, it's considered a situation that can't be repaired. Otherwise, it can be repaired, and we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Yud Amud Aleph.